Right on time.
We've been
First
doing
time.
this for 9-10 months, and it's the first time we've actually started on time. Yeah,
Maybe we're getting the hang of this now.
mate, we're looking professional, aren't we? We're looking professional. Anyway, those that are watching on record, because we haven't got any lives yet, we've only become live. It's our normal Paranormal Monday live, 8:30 every Monday. Doesn't matter, if Monday happens to be a Christmas day, we'll be here. New Year's Day, probably not, because you wouldn't want to see me New Year's Day. But
Yeah,
thanks.
I can imagine.
I went out yesterday, so down
All right.
Yeah,
I saw that. You had a chill out day, didn't you?
Yeah. I needed a chill out day today. Whoa.
Yeah.
So did Angela. Yeah, we've watched
Oh,
a lot
dear.
of TV today. A lot of TV. I couldn't even get on the computer, honestly. I tried about 10 o'clock. Oh. No. So I don't think anymore. So there you go. It was the spirits. That's what caused it. But
Yeah.
anybody watching this on record, thanks for joining us. Please share it. It's for the benefit of everybody's involved, the people you're sharing to yourself and us, obviously, because the more people we can reach, the better. We've got Daniel, who is our cryptozoologist. He's the world's youngest cryptozoologist. He's been in the newspapers and whatever.
I searched up my name last night, and it came up with a photo of me and Patty from the Patterson Gimlin film, and I was on 2 American newspapers. I didn't even know it.
Good,
Nice.
mate. Good.
Good for you.
Yeah. Well, don't Google my name, whatever you do.
I think you'll be arrested if you do that.
No, I'm on top of the Empire State Building going.
As seen on Crime Watch.
Do you watch Crime Watch?
No, not anymore. It's too old for me. Scares me.
I tried to catch up with all my mates.
He's on it.
Jen says she reckons I'm on it. How funny.
Yeah. Well, we've had a bit of a quiet week, really. I mean, Daniel's been plugging away at his end. Luke, we may never know because his mum's telling him off by the look of it. Look, yeah. He's picking his nose. Look as we talk. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh, Luke. Oh, how terrible. Oh no. Oh no, Mum. No, really.
I think he's got a wig on. He's changed his hair anyway.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
Luke, are you wearing a serum?
Hey, Luke. Yeah, hello, Luke.
Hello there, yeah. Welcome to the group, Luke. We know you're a new member, but welcome anyway. It's your first time.
What are you talking about, you there?
So, Luke, what have you got to talk about tonight then, Luke?
Found a new event I might have done for next year.
Right.
It's in Winchester.
Don't give it away. Don't give too much away. Secret location locally.
I just asked them if they could do an investigation, and they said, yeah, just give them an email. Yeah.
All right. And have you done that?
No, I got to do it another day, later.
Or
well,
you should try and get it done.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll when we have our sort of 10 minutes after the show, we'll have a talk about it then. But it looks promising then, Luke, yeah?
Yeah, it really does, yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. We've got Shaw House coming up this week.
Yeah.
Shaw House. Did it last year. Yeah. That's the one where the gun went off in the cupboard, but the layout's completely different, I believe, if I remember right. I can't remember. There's so many places that we're doing. We're getting so many different places. I mean, remember as well, up the road from you is Rackham Monument as well, Paul.
Yeah, it's not far, is it, from here?
That's right. It's only up the road, mate. So I'll have a look what there's things we're doing and on and off this week and whatever. And then the weather. Yeah. What day are you there till?
Well, we leave Saturday, 11 o'clock.
Right,
we have to be off the site by 11. So Friday will be our last day, really.
Caravans and whatever. That's the only bad thing in the backside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Packing up the day you're going is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Even doing the steadies up.
Yeah, we'll just start dropping the water out the tanks on the Friday night.
Yeah.
So it drops all, so it just runs all night, clears because it's all centrally heated and everything in here. So it looks a bit like, I don't know whether you can see it.
Hello, girls.
So hello, girls.
Hello, girls. Hello.
I said hello.
Yeah.
So it looks a bit like that.
Oh, that's nice, mate.
Yeah, shower
Yeah.
toilet there. It's
Hiya.
7.1 meters. It's 7.2 meters. Thank you.
How do you get on towing it? You loving it?
Hello.
We'll do what, mate? What did you say?
How do you enjoy towing it?
Yeah, it towed really well. The car needs the sister springs because it's a little bit heavy on the nose.
Yeah.
So it pulled the back of the car down a little bit, but you know we're pulling it with a 1.2 turbo engine, so it pulled it well, really well.
Yeah, it's working hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean we were doing 50, 55 all the way down. Quite happy doing that sort of speed with that on the back, 7.2 meters.
Well, you can't stop, mate. You can't stop. No, if
No.
you're only you can't stop. You see these caravans come rolling past you at 80 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And if that caravan, you get a blowout on it, you'll know about it.
No, we're quite happy at 50, 55, mate. We're quite happy at that.
I've towed since I was 17 years old. And I mean, like, putting it on the back in Essex and driving it to Aberdeen. That was quite, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, I mean, that was on the 5 acres I was telling you about.
Yeah.
With the old railway cottages and whatever.
Yeah.
Such a shame we weren't all together then.
Yeah.
A paranormal investigator's dream. And that's whether you were looking for a ghost, a UFO, a big cat, or whatever, mate. There was a bit of everything there. And then we moved and we had a 10-acre field.
All right.
And actually, that's a good one on cats for you, right? To prove, I believe, without a reasonable doubt, that we have, and this is what's so interesting, we're a 10-acre field, right? We lived on the side of a narrow 6-foot wide road going up the hill, and called Weather Hill, coincidentally, just near a place called Knock in Scotland. It's about an hour's drive northwest of Aberdeen. It's really, really remote. And when it snows, you get snowed in for weeks at a time. And here's John.
Hello,
John. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, John. Welcome.
Late, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome
He's
along.
Here. Yeah, look, he's here. Yeah. We've got Luke down the bottom there, John. You've not met Luke before, have you?
Hi, Luke. I don't think we've met before.
And then you got Paul up the top, who's on Hailing Island at the minute, John.
Great guns now, aren't we?
What do you have on Hailing Island?
Hardest. I just see there.
Jungle cats. And but I'm just telling you a story basically about when I lived in Scotland, and we had quite substantial outbuildings, but our field was sort of I don't know, a third of a mile away from the house, down a track. You walk through farmers' fields to get to it. So we used to have the horses in and out every day. Anyway, at night time, when it snows up there, it's absolutely fantastic, especially when it snows. Then you get the clear sky, and then it freezes, the snow goes all shiny and crispy. The moonlight comes down, it's like daylight all day. It's cold, don't get me wrong, yeah? Anyway, 3 o'clock in the morning is absolutely beautiful time. There's nobody there, there's not a soul about. You've got your dogs. I had 3 dogs at the time. I had 2 German Shepherds, and love it. Anyway, I've sat there watching my 12-volt. I've opened the curtains like daylight, a weird daylight. I'm right, I'm going for a walk up the field. Got to the bottom of the field, the gate, the dogs have run under the burn and whatever. They're running around, and there's no the horses are all in. Probably about -7, -8, something like that. Anyway, I heard that the cats I was aware, I've already virtually convinced that the big cats were there. So, who's that, Nick? Oh. Anyway, I've found these deer tracks, and they're quite plainly deer tracks. And the fun is not in the killing; it's the fun's in the hunting, the stalking. Yeah, like when you do a paranormal investigation, you don't want to harm the spirit. You want to find it. Yeah, you're hunting it if you like to find it. Stalking. It's a stalking. Yeah. Anyway, you can imagine a 10-acre field set over a hillside. I've come up and I followed all these tracks. I figured out there's half a dozen deer. Yeah. As I've just come up over the hill, I've just seen like antlers and the heads and whatever. And I've gone, my God, we've got some proper deer here. And I've gone up really sort of close. And that's me done now. I've done my job, yeah. And the deer was sort of like, I don't know, 20 feet away from me. I mean, absolutely stunningly amazing. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, nobody around, -7, -10 maybe. And you found your deer, you've got your dogs, it's like daylight, superb. Anyway, the deer, obviously, one of them found me eventually, and they just gone. So I'm getting cold now, yeah. Head back to the caravan. Gets back in the caravan, puts my paraphernalia on, that's all I have and gets into me big clothes or whatever, and goes to sleep. Wakes up at 8 o'clock the next morning. Decides get up and I'm going to go and see if any deer is still around. Right? So I've walked up to the field. I've traced my tracks, big boot prints like size 11s, and I found the deer's tracks and whatever. And I've got to the top where the deer were, and all of a sudden I've found my footprint over a deer footprint, right? And then a big pad paw prints over the top of my boot print, right? I mean, really fresh over the top of my boot print. I mean, probably, definitely within 20 minutes over my boot print, yeah. And I knew it wasn't a dog. I've got 3 dogs with me, but a dog will always leave its claws. It can't retract its claws. So with a dog, you will always have the paw outline, but you'll have a claw in it, yeah? With a cat, which retracts its claws, you'll only have the outline. And they're probably like that. So it was sizable, probably about that, yeah? About that size. I would say medium large dog size for that, yeah, probably about 50 kilograms or something, maybe more. And I started tracking back my tracks, and basically these tracks of this cat had gone in and out of the bushes, in and out of the bushes, in and out. That thing was stalking me, right? So I was stalking the deer, something was stalking me, right? Or maybe I disturbed it from stalking the deer. I would never know, yeah?
If I very, very quickly ask a question there. So, did you hear anything at all?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But a feline is very quiet anyway.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You know, that's how it hunts its prey. I mean, if you watch a feline, and it's got that air walk, isn't it? It's just it's like walking on rice paper, yeah. But you could clearly see there was cat footprints over my boot prints.
Careful.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I got a bit of a shock, to be honest, because
No.
I think it took me a while before I went out there in the snow again. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Yes, then
You
need something.
Was it? Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Daniel, has there been many sightings in Scotland of Bigfoot, or that you know of, or?
Yeah, actually, there has been. Scotland is actually one of the UK's mecca for Bigfoot sightings. Right up the top, you have some big forests where Bigfoot is sighted, and it actually, I've completed my map of the Bigfoot trail, and it is trailing all. Yeah, I have all the way up to Scotland. So something is living in Scotland.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. But
Do you think they could travel down as the weather gets colder? They travel down to a milder climate. Do you think, or
to say a possible? Yeah. Now I've made a trail and it's gone through where we are, all the way to then Cornwall, Dartmoor, and it stops at Dartmoor. So
Dartmoor's an ace place. Ace place.
It's kind of just gone up and down. Now I've really zoomed in Scotland and here and Cornwall, and the amount of sightings are immaculate. Honestly, it's just so it's like just a perfect drawing that it's just
my thought on my next question was going to be to both you and John, because you're obviously a lot more experienced and qualified to speak about Bigfoot than I, Paul or Luke combined are, because that's your field, Do you think it does actually migrate Scotland down to Cornwall?
Me, I don't think there's any
Oh, well,
evidence
I can't even where this is a pair.
for it needing. There are sightings from all over the country.
So you don't think it does migrate, John?
Well, no, because the sightings all over the country all year round. There's no in my experience, I don't know if Daniel was
I've experienced possibly different times of the year. It's like the sightings around where I am occur on the same kind of time of year. In my experience of talking to other experts, is there aren't many in each area. There are possibly only 20 to 30, because and I've experienced that with talking to some of the biggest scientists in Bigfoot, and they've said it's kind of it's kind of that there's like a small amount of them. So if I were to say, do they migrate or not, I would place myself in the middle and go, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know, and I have no proof to say. But I'm starting to do more research into it. Yeah.
Can I just ask John? Do you think they travel on their own, or travel as pairs, or travel as a family? Would you know?
My gut feeling is that the whole of the, at least in this country, the HM phenomena are ones that aren't necessarily, can't necessarily be described in purely zoological. So there's something weird about them that doesn't get covered by pure zoology. The ones that my guys have looked at throughout the world.
I do.
And the one that we've done most work into is the orang pendek in Sumatra.
Yeah.
That is it's a flesh and blood animal. We've got its footprints, we've had its hair, we've
Hold
seen
on. Yeah.
it's just an animal that we don't know what it is. When you go further north in Asia, my guys have been to Russia twice and Tajikistan, and those. This is where it seems to be slightly less of an ordinary animal and a little bit more of what's vulgarly known as weird shit. When you get into North America, it's about 50-50 zoology and weird shit. And when you get into the United Kingdom, it's nearly all weird shit. But that being said, I've seen it in the United Kingdom. I've not seen it in any of the more zoological parts of the country. And the one I saw was in the middle of winter in Northumberland, which
Okay.
one think it's not migrating south for the summer.
So you've actually had a personal sighting then, John?
Yes, this was January 23. It is, I think, written up on our website. I've written it up in various places. A place called Bowlam Lake, which is about 45 miles north. And if anybody thinks that there can be a viable population of a non-human primate living in a tiny forest 45 miles north of Newcastle, that makes no zoological sense whatsoever. Especially in the winter when... Sorry?
That's all right.
That's Jenny. So you saw it in January?
I saw it in January, and I had a big team of people with me. And there were no deer, there were no rabbits. We didn't even see any birds. The place was completely deserted.
Right, that's interesting.
And we only saw one. The thing that I found most interesting about that is that. Hang on a second. Thank you, Graham, my dear. Sorry, I'm disabled. I'm actually in bed, and my carers just bring some stuff up for me. We found that every single piece of electronic equipment we owned, including 3 cars, all the batteries failed. I was absolutely, because I've read about this, but it didn't. We had walkie-talkies that every time we put new batteries in them, within 5 minutes the batteries were flat. It was completely and utterly bizarre. But I then had an idea, and I sent, because I had 4 people from my organisation, and at the time there was a bloke I knew ran a paranormal research group in South Shields, so I had about 10 of them as well. And so I sent 2 of them out to walk along all the raised wooden walkways throughout this forest with compasses. And there's magnetic anomalies over the place. And I found out when I went home and looked up on a geological map of the north of England that there are rich veins of magnetic iron ore, something called magnetite, that go underneath this particular part of Northumberland. And my guess is that somehow not only does the magnetite affect all the electronic equipment, but it somehow affects the way that we perceive things, so we can actually perceive
Yeah.
the
I agree with you on that. I
Yeah.
agree with you on that. Yes, it alters our perception of other things.
and yeah, I agree. And what I think is that if you read most of the books on the subject, people like John Keel always used to suggest that the electronic weirdness that made all the batteries go flat and everything was caused by the Bigfoot type creatures. I think they're both something else. I think both the batteries failing and our ability to perceive these things are both side effects of strong magnetic anomalies, which are, perfectly measurable and perfectly part of ordinary physics that affects both the electronic equipment and us. And that I think that we shouldn't be thinking of the British Bigfoot up there as being something which causes the magnetic anomalies. It's actually a result of them. It's a symptom rather than a cause.
And
I think that's where most of the people who've been theorizing stuff have gone wrong.
and to jump in there, John, and to go where
Right, we've got to
where
stop soon,
these
then.
creatures and stuff
Oh,
can
God.
affect us. I very, very strongly believe in infrasound,
Yeah.
where and I think me and you had a conversation about this.
Yeah, we
About
did. It's on next Saturday's show.
and where I felt like I stepped over a boundary of where I found indentations. I stepped over that boundary with two members of my team, and we just felt uneasy.
Hmm.
When we came home, we had headaches for the next 3 days, and it was mild headaches, but it reminded me of some of the stuff that people in America has seen, and what I'm trying to do, and is bring some facts that America have done, keep it in here, and then start to build our own kind of um
What?
theory on what Bigfoot is. And I
So,
think that's
darling,
what
what do you want
me,
from me?
John,
Don't you take
everyone
long?
that researches Bigfoot, and even for you guys in the paranormal world, we
Mum,
try to build our own picture, because a lot of people discredit the UK as being not
Is it a
what
green
it is
one?
like, and that I feel that that's a bit unfair for us, and we go and especially with now that eDNA sample, I'm like, right, we got that. Let's now build on that. Let's now, which is why I'm looking into UFO stuff like that, is to try and build our theory on what we think paranormal and Bigfoot is.
Do you think it uses infrasound to disable its prey, confuse it before it attacks?
Paul, I've heard that from people in America, but actually, yeah, I think yeah, I spoke to a witness, and he said he got the same thing, but when he like interacted, he got a sighting of Bigfoot, and I'm like, okay, so now these creatures are like sending us a message. I'm going, right, okay, if I do this to you, will you come and interact with me, making sure that we're safe? And one more thing I'll add before is, John, when you mentioned the electronics, when we went back and we found those two new tree structures,
Yeah.
I was taking a video of it, and now my camera, I cannot get videos off my camera. It's impossible now. I can't. So I'm now having to find new ways to get the SIM card out, and so I'm like, hold on a minute. I could do it before I found these tree structures, stuff like that. And I'm now starting to think: was these tree structures a message? Was it a sign of something that this creature doesn't? And I don't know. And I'm going quite deep here, but I for Bigfoot, I'm going on the most logical answer, but maybe it isn't logical, and it's really hard to try and make it logical, and it's getting harder and harder to say it's not Bigfoot or it's not a creature in the paranormal world.
Well, I'm now going to bowl you another very, very a total blindsider here. Do you know what the word panic means?
Yeah.
Does everybody know what the word panic means?
Panic
Yeah.
means to.
Panic.
What does it mean?
It comes from the original.
Become overwhelmed with something and
Become overwhelmed by something.
like.
Or it's a fight and flight turn, isn't it?
But originally, the word meant that when you went to a strange place and you felt uneasy and scared and upset because you were in a place that was ruled by the god Pan,
Oh,
who is the god of the woodlands, who is a tall humanoid covered in fur. I give you that for whatever it's worth. I'm not saying I'm not saying that's what's happening to us all.
really interesting, though.
Yeah.
It makes my head hurt.
It does.
Well, that's really interesting.
Suddenly we've gone from North American animals that may well exist, Sumatran animals that do exist, to ancient Greek gods. And I think it's all part of the same thing.
So do you think we will ever get a sighting in Britain, in the UK?
Well, John's seen one.
I've seen one, yeah.
Right. And was it singular, John, on its own, or was it?
It was by itself. And I
What,
think
what was the situation?
What was the situation that you saw it in? My partner's asking.
Back at the end of 2002, a mate of mine working for one of the red top newspapers told me that there was somebody up in one of the forests north of Newcastle who was a journalist for I can't remember if it was the Sun or the Daily Mirror, but it was one of them. And apparently the story was he was dressing up in a monkey suit and jumping out at people to try and set up a scary story. So we went up there. I did a deal with my mate, who shall remain nameless, from the red top newspaper, was that if we could catch this bloke, he would pay us a remarkable sum of money. So we went up there, armed with paintball guns, with the idea that we were going to capture the journalist, cover him with paint, hog-tie him, and dump him on the front door of the Daily Mirror or the Sun, I can't remember which one it was, offices. And so we went up there, that was our plan. But I was up there for about a week, in which I interviewed a whole load of witnesses, and it turned out that what my mate had said about the dodgy journalist was complete. It just had nothing to do with it. These people were seeing something totally strange that couldn't be explained. I was there first thing in the morning, just before dawn, because I was doing an interview for BBC Radio 4 Today programme. And they promised me 50 quid for doing the interview. And I will get up very early for 50 quid. Especially 20 quid. And I arrived at the car park opposite the forest just before dawn. And one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me happened because you could hear birds and wildlife starting to sing, and you heard whatever the equivalent of the dawn chorus is with rooks. It was the most god-awful noise you've ever heard, of about 1,000 rooks all screaming, all squawking at each other at once. Horrible noise. And then suddenly, just as the sun came over the trees, it stopped. It went completely silent. Absolutely appallingly silent. Totally one of the weirdest things ever happened to me. And then suddenly I heard this weird booming noise. It sounded, those of you of a certain age will know what I'm talking about, it sounded like the amplified heartbeat at the beginning of Dark Side of the Moon, when it went boom, 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 boom. It sounded like the beginning of a Pink Floyd record. And then it stopped, was silent again, and then the crows started again. I did my interview. I went back to CM1C, where we were staying, collected the rest of the team, and we spent the day, we interviewed a couple of witnesses, we spent the day measuring the places that people had seen it, getting the magnetic readings I told you about. Then it was coming just up to dusk. And suddenly, just after dusk, the same thing happened. It was completely silent. The rooks went completely quiet, and the booming sound happened again. And at the time, I drove a very battered old Jaguar. And me and two of my mates were sitting on the bonnet of my Jaguar looking into the wood, and suddenly, now this is where it's weird, because there were three of us on the bonnet and two other people there, all sitting on the bonnet of my car smoking cigarettes, looking into the woods and thinking, God, we're cold, we want to get down the pub. And then suddenly, the car headlights were on. Suddenly, illuminated by the headlights, I saw an immensely tall black figure. And I don't mean black as in a person would be black. It didn't even look solid. It looked like a very tall, man-shaped slice of nothingness cut against the sky. And it ran for about a second from right to left, and then a couple of seconds back, incredibly fast from left to right, and then it was gone. And the next day when we went back there, I've never been any good at estimating distances, but I did make a note of which trees this figure ran between. We went out to check it, and it was complete bog. You couldn't, even wearing wellies, you begin to sink into it. So we got the hell out of it. I suppose, in theory, you could have had a immensely fit athlete, I don't know, very tall athlete, some from the Harlem Globetrotters or something, stripped naked, ballet dancing across the thing and back. But that's so unlikely, it's not going to have happened. But the very strange thing, I don't know where Daniel's gone.
He'll be back in a minute. Said he's just got a nipple for 10 minutes, that's all.
Oh, as long as he's okay.
Yeah.
Daniel said in one of his just now that he had headaches after he was in the place he was. I haven't taken recreational drugs for many, many, many years. So back in my misspent youth, I did. And I do know what happens if you have a opiate in your system. Opiates are one of the two substances which make the brain mimic the production of endorphins, the physical pleasure chemical. And within seconds of seeing what I saw, and the weird thing as well, there were 5 of us there looking at it. 3 of us saw it, the other 2 didn't, even though we were looking in exactly the same position. And my body was flooded with endorphins. It was absolutely unbelievable. And so I do know what happens when you have a chemical that makes you feel you've got endorphins. And it was like that. It was like I was incredibly stoned. And I hadn't been like that for about 20 years before that. And my body was flooded with endorphins for the next 3 days. It's like, that's why it's interested me that Daniel said that him and his mates, they had headaches for 3 days. It's like, and again, I think this is something to do with the effect of the magnetic anomalies on the brain. But something filled my brain with these pleasure chemicals for about 3 days, and totally changed my life. And so yeah, that's what I've seen. Yeah, I've seen one once. I've seen the big cats a couple of times, and I've seen other stuff, but that was it.
And does it always go silent when they're around? You know, the birds disappear. Is it always very silent?
I don't know, because A, it's the only time I've seen it, and B, it is, I was so completely blown away by seeing it. You could have had the band of the Coldstream Guards next to me playing the trumpet voluntary, and I wouldn't have known. It was, fucking hell, look at that. And everything else went out of my mind, so I can't answer that.
So did it actually did it look at you when it
No,
crossed, or
it showed no sign that it knew I was there. And
it just carried on as normal?
yeah, it was about 80 feet away. Now, this is the other strange thing. I'd heard about tree knocking, but it just so happened at that time, and for quite a few years after that, I hadn't actually heard one of the recordings of tree knocking. And I saw a documentary which a company I was working with did about Bigfoot in America, and it had recording of tree knocking, and what I thought of as the amplified heartbeats sounded very similar to the big booming sound of somebody or something banging on a tree, which again I had no idea about that, because I'm interested in Bigfoot, but it's not my area of expertise. I've been doing all sorts of other things over the years.
So how long have you been doing this sort of thing then, John?
It's been my hobby. It's been my hobby all my life since I was about 8. But I started the Centre for... I got made redundant in 1990. And a few years later, 2 years later, I decided, well, I'm going to... I've spent the first half of my life doing stuff other people wanted me to do. I'm now going to do something I want to do. And
Good on you, mate. Good on you.
I started the Centre for Fortean Zoology basically because I couldn't do anything else. I can write, I'm a writer and I've been a publisher, so I know how to do that shit. But all the other things that normal people do to make a living, I'm no good at. So I decided to start a publishing house about mystery animals, and then that sort of morphed into me running an organization about mystery animals. And now somehow it's 32 years later and I'm still doing it.
It's scary, isn't it? 1990 doesn't seem 30 odd years ago, does it?
Oh,
seems
God,
like yesterday.
Well, it's like I don't feel any different inside than I ever have. But how the hell have I now become 65-year-old grandfather with a long grey beard? I have no idea where the time went or how the hell that happened. That's one of the real mysteries.
You've got to grab life while it's there.
Excuse me, I'm having a frank exchange of views with the dog. Archibald, stop it.
I've just been told by mine that it's time to watch the TV. You know, she's got her set times, yeah. So what sort of creatures did your area that you sort of search for, you research, John? I mean, I'm sure it's not just me that's interested in this, because that's why we do these streams, because it's interesting to meet other people, get their side of things. You know what I mean?
Well, probably the thing I'm best known for is a book, the biggest book ever written about the Cornish Owlman, which I happen to be totally serendipitously wearing a T-shirt of. But the Owlman of Cornwall, I wrote a book in 1991. I wrote it. It was published in 1996, and that's probably the thing I'm best known for. But I've also looked for lake monsters in Ireland. I've been to Puerto Rico twice looking for the chupacabra. I've looked for the bald blue dogs in Texas 3 times. And I've been in Mexico looking for vampires. So I've done quite a lot of stuff over the years.
There's supposedly one in Yorkshire, a vampire.
Yes, in Robin Hood's grave.
And there's another one as well. Where was it? What's that museum? Dent. In Dent, little village called Dent. There is a small, wonderful museum in Dent. If you ever get the chance to go, please go. It's family run, family owned. It's only cheap, and it's absolutely fascinating. And you have to park up the road in the church car park, which is overlooking the Dales, and it's spectacular views, really beautiful. Now, when you're in the Dent Museum, you learn that somebody was supposedly they killed this person or whatever, and they were that believed to be a vampire that a stake was placed through their heart when they were actually buried, and it's still there to this day. So it's very interesting, isn't it?
I didn't know about that.
No, nor did I, mate. But I wonder how many more that we do not know about are around the country, because I only found out by chance, because in 2020 I took my two stepsons up there, and we were camping in Kirby Lonsdale Rugby Football Club, the little tent, and the weather was quite atrocious, and we were dressed in muddy wellies for a week, and just like 3 boys, you know, sort of having a bit of fun, cooking on the boot of the car and that sort of thing, and right back to nature. Now, I remember when my father used to take me up there. He died in 93. We used to go across to a place called the Dent Fort. The Dent Fort was caused by the mountains of the lakes and the mountains of Yorkshire moving on the transitic plates of the earth and pushing the ground upwards. So I'm looking, there's ponies and whatever, and this bit and whatever. I thought the kids will love this. They can do a bit of learning. So I'm looking for the Dent Fort. And by chance, I found the village of Dent. And there's a caravan and camping club site there. It looks really immaculate as well. And this Dent Museum. And I said to the boys, I said, shall we go in the museum? And I believe at this time it was you just made a donation to what you thought it was worth. There was a recommended donation, and it was pennies really. And it was we read up in there. Do you remember that, Angela, about the vampire in the graveyard? Yeah, she remembers it as well. So I'm not going nuts. But apparently the grave's still in there and the stake still driven through his heart.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So that's another interesting one. Obviously, I said to Paul when he was towing the caravan down, he said, "Oh, I've got to go up there and pick it up from Ipswich and then tow it back down to Hayling." I said, "Oh, watch out for them jungle cats while you're on Hayling." He laughed, sort of thing. But the other night, you know what? When you sent me through that link, I just started researching it, and sure enough, and apparently there's jungle cats in other places of the country as well. So they're not huge things. I mean, they're probably like that. You wouldn't want to offer one kitty milk.
No, they're big. They're a bit bigger than my Jack Russell, but it's still a hell of a lot bigger than a domestic cat. Another mate of mine, Dr. Carl Schuker's, got a stuffed one in his collection that was found dead in a cave in Shropshire. So there's been at least 2 bodies found and several more sightings.
Right now, while I'm remembering, because I have got the body of an elephant and the brain of a goldfish. My memory is absolutely rubbish.
The club, mate.
Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? I can remember long term, but I can't remember short term. You know, I kick him out of bed and I'll say I'll remember you next week. But they anyway.
Congratulations, Darren. You're becoming an old git. Welcome.
I know I am, mate. I know I am. I'm getting there, bit by bit. Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. I mean, the old bit. I'm the git, but I'm not the old yet. And apparently, I talk too much.
Well, I can't believe who's told you that. Who's told you that?
Now,
Someone's been lying to you, mate. I'm gonna tell you.
No, yeah, I know.
Just
they're lying about that, wouldn't they? But anyway, now I was born in Essex, and my family holiday every single year was the Isle of Wight. I love the Isle of Wight because it was my childhood holidays, and Black Gang Chine with all the. Have you been, Paul? Black Gang Chine, yeah. Just thinking about your grandkids, mate. You know, because it's wonderful. I mean, you've got dinosaurs that are alive and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Crooked House and Black Gang Chine was just my magic. And now every year we used to do the same sort of thing. We used to drive down from Essex, 3.5 hours to Southampton on the Red Funnel steamer, go past the QE2 and the Canberra when they were in, and over to the Isle of Wight. It was like going to another country, you know. It was like Jurassic Park to me. And we used to get to the park, straight into the office, like the shop, buy a load of whoopee cushions and joke sweets, and poor Dad would have to eat them over the course of a week, pretending he didn't know what they were. And can we go to Black Gang Chine now? Can we go to Black Gang Chine? Nope, we're going to go to the Wax Museum. Fantastic. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever been to the Wax Museum. It's not there anymore. The Wax Museum at Brading. It was probably the best wax museum in the world. It really was, just because it was so quaint, so different. I don't know how they managed to knock it down. It was a listed building. It was sat at the very side of the road, and it had a lovely garden out the back, a wishing well. I remember all that. I've got pictures of myself and my sister sitting on this wishing well. But it was very haunted, by the way, very haunted. And they had all these scenes. It was quite scary as a kid going through there. An old man pedaling on an old bike, and a boy stuck up a chimney cleaning the chimney, and that sort of thing. Yeah, they weren't realistic wax models, but they were, you know. Anyway, they had a whole section dedicated to taxidermy and strange relics they had from around the world. One I can remember was a shrunken head, a real shrunken head. The other ones were like Tom Thumb and his walking stick and things like that. You know, it was tight. It was actually Tom Thumb's walking stick.
Oh, wow.
Yes, but apart from it all, and God knows how this has got lost and out the public eye. They actually had the skin of a Bigfoot.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Holy crap! What?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's
Yeah. Well, they
how's that got lost?
Yeah, how? I don't know. Well, how do you manage to knock a Grade 2 listed building down to the ground? I mean, you can still drive past the site now. They've not built on it. They've just knocked it down. It makes you wonder if there's a little bit more to this.
It reminds me of government possibly intervening. I've heard a lot of stories of what the government can't take, they won't release, and possibly if this was a viable Bigfoot skin, they binned it.
Well, you know, I mean, the owner used to travel quite a bit. This is how he came about it. And this thing was huge, absolutely huge. Dark brown fur, light brown mixed in it, yeah. And we used to look at this thing on a regular basis. So I know it was there. I know I'm not seeing things in my little mind.
Whereabouts was this?
Grading on the Isle of Wight. Grading. Google wax museum Brading. They
Do you know is the guy who owned it still alive?
Oh, do you know, John? I have no idea, mate. But it would be interesting to find out, wouldn't it? But they did.
This has got to be a This has got to be a project. See if we can find if he's still alive or.
Yeah.
That's going to be my whole evening now.
This
Yep. And
is
then
true.
find out where he got it. And
we used to look for stitches in this thing, right? Where it had been sewn up and where it had been made. But it, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it had dried hide on it as well, like a sheepskin seat cover for a vehicle. Yeah. Dad had these sheepskin seat covers that he used to have in the rolls, and he saved all the years with him and whatever.
Yeah.
So it was like that dried out hide that needed lubing, but it hadn't. It'd been, yeah. But I've kept meaning to tell you a lot of this. You know, a lot of these things go missing. A lot of them get forgotten, and forgotten for reasons. Yeah. I mean,
just have a look at Daniel's face. That is a young man with a mission.
He's on one now, isn't he? He's on one now.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm going to have his dad ringing me. You sod, you kept my son up all bloody night now, yeah. But no, they really did have a Yeti skin in there. And I mean, it wasn't a huge thing to us, do you know what I mean? Because it wasn't like you didn't have the internet then. I mean, I'm talking about 1980s, do you know what I mean? Which is longer than 1990, you know, like 40 years ago, you know, 40 years ago. But every year we used to go to this bloody wax museum, and I can remember it so vividly. They had a little box outside, and we used to come out with our guidebook every year. It used to say open 366 days of the year, and my dad used to go, 366 days a year. Yeah, there's only 365, isn't there? Leap year. Yeah. So every fourth year you got 366 days. But I remember this was a wishing well out the back, beautiful flowers and whatever. And then all of a sudden they just knocked it down. They just destroyed the place. But this was quite a sizable sort of like section they had that you went into. And they had stuffed wildcats, birds, or taxidermy and whatever. And my dad used to kid me on, no, they're real eyes in them. And I'm like, no, Dad, no, it's not really. It was really, really interesting. The little sort of windows they had and so forth. But perhaps it is perhaps it's sold for a couple of £1 million. It's sat on some rich sheik's private collection now.
Or it was dumped on a rubbish heap because nobody cared.
You could be right there, mate. Yeah, you could be right there. But you know, I mean, you've got to take heed here because I mean, we found these things on. I mean, I've done my research. We found Yeti skins. We found huge mammoth snake skins. Yeah, I mean, like 60, 70-foot anacondas. They're out there. It's just you. Well, when you go into the woods, how many people do you actually see on an average basis? I mean, you can wander off the path and you can see nobody at all, can't you? Going back to Rendlesham, I mean, Paul, the other night I was on a stream with these guys talking about Rendlesham Forest, and you've been there, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just it's screwed up. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very strange place.
your brother-in-law
Yeah.
used to be there, didn't he?
What's really weird is I'm literally looking for every option, and there is nothing to do with a Yeti skin or Bigfoot skin at all online.
Yeah, there you go, mate. There you go.
And it's
What
weird.
browser are you using? Google.
I'm just using normal.
Every search you do on Google is censored anyway. So but when we've gone off the live, I can tell you a little bit more about that anyway.
Oh yeah, please do, mate.
You can think I'm even more nuts. If you want to get the real results, and I think this has even been shut down a bit now, get the DuckDuckGo website. You know it, John, yeah? DuckDuckGo. There you go. Another man will tell you the same as me. Yeah? Censored out, mate. You won't get the proper results on Google.
No, I wouldn't.
What I suggest you do is find an Isle of Wight tourist memories message board or something.
Yeah, White Bay or something like that.
Yeah, and just say, does anybody remember I can't remember what it was called now, but Wax Museum?
Yeah, Wax Museum at Braden.
Does anybody remember the thing? And then you'll hopefully get emails from people who say, yes, I remember that when I was a kid, I used to go there on holiday. And then you can start doing a one-to-one question with everybody you can get who remembers the museum about if they remember the Bigfoot thing. But
I found something.
You did?
It says
here's one I've got on yay, here we go. Osborne Smiths, that was it. Osborne Smiths at Braden. I will send this now. Hang about a minute. If I can. I'm just trying anyway. I think we have a problem with the stream tonight, guys. I don't think it's being streamed.
Yeah, it did come up. Says it was live.
Yeah, it did.
Right, okay.
So it should be all right.
Oh yes, we're okay. We are okay. We're yes. Right. I will put this if I can. Yeah, I will put this link. There you go. There's a link for you.
Oh, amazing, mate.
All right. This is a Facebook link. Obviously, you might get something off of there. But they did seriously have, whatever anybody tells you, there was a Yeti skin in there.
Yeah, and I'm trying my best now to try and track down the owner, or because there's got to be someone alive that
somebody else knows it apart from me, mate. Somebody else. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the only person I mean, who am I? Nobody. You know what I mean? It's like, so there's other people out there that know it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But whether they do properly remember it like I do, because I've always had a knack of remembering things odd like this. Yeah.
And
Um,
it reminds you of how much effort goes into researching all these cryptids, and
it doesn't.
it
It doesn't. I mean,
yeah.
you look at ghosts, right? You look at ghosts. I mean, us guys go out there and we find real hard paranormal evidence. And I mean, we work on that 20-80 rule where we debunk 80% of what we see with our own eyes or feel, and we only publicize 20% of what we get. Yeah. I mean, I've got 94 videos on YouTube, and I've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, we're debunking so much, but we're not the only team out there. There's other teams as well.
Yeah.
Science cannot disprove that ghosts exist. In actual fact,
Absolutely right, mate.
it hangs in the balance that ghosts do most probably exist. They can't fully prove it. Therefore, anything scientific has to be proven, yeah, to exist. It has to be 100% verified, yeah. But apart from us guys on the floor, nobody's doing anything, are they? Nobody's
No,
looking for
and I will say this: I have recently learned that there must be a group of people somewhere in the UK that have seen what we do, what the paranormal Bigfoot. They must have seen something, but they are scared to come out and say it. And whether it's scared because they're scared of being ridiculed for it, or they were frightened by what they seen. There's two sides to it. I spoke to a witness that had only just shared his story after 38 years of keeping that inside, which speaks to me and goes, is there an underline of people that actually have kind of groundbreaking stuff that we don't know about?
Well, in America, I mean, you've got areas of the forest that have been bought by government agencies over recent years, and they've been sealed off, and they are patrolled by the National Guard, and they've got cameras up and whatever. You are not allowed to enter these stretches of forest, and they won't tell you why. But previous to this, there was Bigfoot sightings.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you're aware of that. I've been following a few of these things for a few years now because it's paranormal.
There's a patch in Northern California I know of where nests were found, and it was cordoned off.
They found about 6, didn't they? 6 or 7 nests, weren't there?
Yeah. And then you obviously have have the Olympic project, which, funnily enough, they found a group of nests that have not been shut down by the government yet. We know of. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're heading towards some evidence of.
Well, I don't know if you've watched. I don't rely on TV programs. Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch Expedition X.
I don't know.
Jessica Chobot and Phil something or other. He's a skeptic. He's a paranormal researcher, and the guy that sends them out, he's travelled a lot, and he sends them out to investigate different things. And obviously, it's acted up for TV and whatever. But they went out most recently to search for the skinwalkers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They met a woman that drove school buses, and she said she'd seen it. And she said one thing that you must remember out there is if you see a hitchhiker at night, don't pick them up and look at their feet, because the only thing the skinwalker cannot change is its feet. Anyway, Jessica Chobot, Phil, and the production team were heading back in 2 jeeps. There's a cameraman and a producer in the back of their jeep, and they're driving at like 1:30, 2 in the morning down this road full of snow, headlights on, and up in the distance they see somebody in the middle of nowhere walking. And as they get close and they go past him, and you can see it on camera, his legs look like they're covered in fur.
Wow.
And they drive up, they turn around to go back to see for another look, and they're shitting themselves. Yeah? And he's not there.
Oh, see, it's the disappearing that does me in, and obviously both me and you, Darren, and John, we had a chat on Friday about this, didn't we?
Yeah.
About TV programs, and Dad as well, where it has to be entertaining, so which means
it has to be. It costs millions of pounds, mate, to set up, to produce. And I know people, as I said last week, that have been on to these shows, and they're told basically, look, it has to work, it cannot fail.
Yeah,
it's cost millions of pounds to produce. And I mean, that's why Most Haunted got so OTT. I mean, how people are still out there and they're still believing that Carl Beatty didn't get pulled up the stairs by a rope. They did find a knife on the sheets in the bed, and things like that. We were there the week before and we didn't get any of that. One thing I will say we did get at 30 East Drive was there was 4 of us went there, and we were there from 6 in the evening till 12 midday the following day, and we weren't getting anything. We were like, nah, this place, load of rubbish. We'd got a couple of bits, but it's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. We had Domino's deliver and whatever, and we're all downstairs in the living area. And we were actually, I was having an argument with one of them there, and I think the ghost saved him in the end, because all of a sudden we had meters all the way up the stairs and all in the bedroom, and all the meters just went off. Anyway, we all looked at each other, went running up the stairs, and we just got a FLIR thermal camera, and we went into the bedroom, the kids' bedroom, where there is no central heating, there is no heating hot water pipes, there is no heating at all, and we got an image of someone sitting on the edge of the bed.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, wow. We're all 4 of us. And wow. And it was moving. We're like, hey, thermal camera, it may have a shallow heat image, I have like 2-3 degrees. So let's try broaden it. And we looked on, and no, it was like -30 to sort of like +50. So it was real time. Anyway, we've got the meter, and every time we put the meter near it, it went off, and went trick it away, it came off. It stopped and whatever, and boom, 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 boom. Anyway, we stood there for over an hour watching this thing, and it was shape-shifting. 1 minute it would sit there, and you could see its arms and legs and its head, and the next minute it was like laying on the bed, moving around in blobs. But the thing is, it was probably about 20 degrees warmer than anything around it.
Wow.
20 degrees. And you cannot explain that. And you could see the outer rings of the heat as well, where it was. I've still got a picture. I think it's posted on the main page with nearly 5,000 likes one. But I may still have it on here.
Darren,
Yes, mate.
I've just got to shoot a minute because I've got a problem with the water pump on the van. So
All right, mate. No worries. Yeah, we'll get it sorted, mate. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll speak to you in a bit.
Yeah, I'll end the live in a second anyway, mate. But because we've been on over the hour.
Yeah.
And we'll have our 10 minutes afterwards, mate.
Yeah, I'll try and get back, but I need to go and have a look.
Go on, mate. Go and get it sorted, yeah?
Yeah, speak to you soon. Nice to
mate.
meet you, John. Nice to meet you, John. And you, Daniel. Take care, buddy.
But, you know, it's another thing great about these lives. I mean, here. Oh, I found it. I don't know if I can move it down here, can I? No, I can't move it down there. You know, without us meeting for one of these lives, I would never have been able to tell you, you know, about the Yeti suit, the Yeti.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That is true. I'm not making that up. That is,
yeah.
that is true, mate. And it's, I've remembered it the other night. And I'm like, wow, I've got to tell him. I've got to tell him, yeah. I'm just trying here to send it to everybody. That's why I couldn't find it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Here, I'm trying. Oh yes, I can. I found us. I am going to put it in the comments. All right. Hopefully. Oh my God. Why can't I do it? What is wrong with me?
Darren, if you wanted to send it to me, I've got the live on my phone here as well.
Have you?
Yeah.
Right. It's coming your way, mate.
All right, mate.
It's coming now.
Got it.
Have a look at that.
Oh my God.
That's not just like a little bit, is it? That's
no, mate.
That's
yeah. Right.
I don't know if you can add it to the chat, can you?
Yeah. Hold on a minute.
Have a look at this picture. This is like.
There you go. If I put in comments to it.
Yeah. This is a genuine photograph taken by us, and there was nothing there.
Wow.
There was no heating pipes. Absolutely bugger all there. That is a real, genuine picture.
You can't put photos on chat for some reason.
No, I couldn't do it. That's a bit mental, isn't it?
Oh, a minute.
It comes back.
Hold on.
I pressed the wrong button and managed to cut you all off. So I
did wonder where you've gone. No, I'm gonna have to send it. I'll put it onto the Mythical Legends.
Oh yeah.
Put it onto there, then everybody can get to it. I don't know if Luke's on the Mythical Legends yet. If not,
he's not. No. I've been talking to Luke. If I send it to John, and then
have a look at this, John. This is amazing, mate. This was a thermal camera at 30 East Drive.
Did you want me to send it to Dora and Luke as well?
Yeah, just send it, mate.
Yeah. All right, then.
It's lovely hell.
An amazing picture.
Where and when? I missed all that.
This was taken, John, at a very famous haunted house called 30 East Drive.
Yeah.
It's if you can get a film called When the Lights Went Out.
I've heard of it. Not
it's that house. It's that actual house. And we visited there 8-9 years ago now. We spent the night there. 6 in the evening today till sort of like 12 o'clock the following day, and there was 4 of us, and we got a few hits in the evening and whatever. Hi, Graham. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's the main thing, buddy. But we got a few hits and a few meters went off and a few cold spots and a few bangs and intelligent responses. Then it just went dead. Just boom. And I was actually having an argument with one of the guys in the living room about 1:30 in the morning. And it was getting very, very heated. He was a private parking warden, and he really did enjoy giving out tickets. And if you get my gist, and I didn't agree totally with all his actions. And all of a sudden, the meters started going up. Beep, 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 beep. It was like Christmas. It really was. And we all rushed upstairs to where the meters were going permanently. And they were all on permanent red, and we got the thermal camera out, and we just got these pictures and video as well at the time. I don't know where the video's gone, but of this thing sitting, as you can see, on the edge of the bed. Now I must add, this house has no central heating in that room, or water pipes in the walls, or radiators, or anything in that room at all that could make that heat signature.
Wow.
We also checked the range of the thermal camera to make sure it wasn't just 5 degrees and whatever, picking up every different thing. And it was like set to like -30 to +50. It was a huge range. So we compared it to somebody standing, one of us standing there, and the heat signature was virtually identical as an actual human being, and yet there was nobody visible to the naked eye sitting on the edge of that bed. And then it started changing shape, and then it started we believe it was that, I forgot to say this, intelligently turning the meters on and off, and the REM pod as well.
What?
Yeah, I mean, on these investigations, I mean, these guys will confirm. You say to it, right, can you come closer to the meter, please? Can you make the meter go, please? And it will go beep, 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 beep. Right, can you back off now? Yep. Or you'll say, can you switch the torch on? And the torch will come on. Right, can you switch it on? The torch will... Is that true?
Is, yeah.
I mean, no, Dora, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
We get the meters. I mean, I've got a meter here. Yeah. You know, when it's obviously green now, yeah. I mean, obviously on a telephone or something like that, but you've got to get it close to the. I mean, on my phone, it's not even. Yeah, there you are. See a little spike there. Yeah. Yeah. But you've got to get it near the. I mean, it won't there or whatever. Yeah. So we got the. Yeah.
I will say, so you have a thermal camera?
I do, but I'm having problems at the moment because it's a micro, a mini micro, and the phones I'm using now are on C's.
Okay.
And it doesn't like the C, so I'm going to try and get it up and running again. 1 for our investigations, and 2 I'll bring it down with me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, amazing! Because it's meant to work really, really well for Bigfoot researching. So I'm really, really excited. For
I'll be bringing cameras down as well, and I'll also be bringing full spectrums down as well.
Oh, amazing!
Like GoPros, full spectrum ones.
Yep.
If you want to have a full spectrum camera, I'll show you how to convert it yourself.
Oh, mate, that'll be amazing.
So you can buy one for 25 quid, and you can turn it into a converted. Just as you buy for 100 quid on the internet, you'll be able to do it yourself. Just
it's amazing, mate.
As long as you buy the right camera, yeah. Full spectrum cameras are great, not just for night vision, yeah, not just for night shots. I mean, you see a lot of the stuff I do on YouTube, and you'll see these guys in it, and they'll confirm that is shot in the pitch black. Sometimes we can't even see each other, can we? You know, so you know, and that is like daylight. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's also good because my little guy, I think it's this one. Yeah, this one here. Right.
Yeah.
He does night vision and daytime. He's got colour in him as well.
Wow.
So I can take that out. And all right, it's not as good as a non-converted. I mean, this one here is not converted as of yet. I'm thinking of it, but I haven't done it. Yeah. All right. But
Oh, yeah.
obviously the picture's not as good as that, but it's watchable. Yeah. So this guy here will come out with you, and he'll take footage. I plug him into a power pack, and that will run 24 hours if you want him to. Yeah. Takes a 32 gigabyte card. It will give you about 6 hours of footage continuously.
Wow.
And you get home and you plug the card into your computer, and then you sit there with cups of tea and your vape going, and you're like, and when your eyes have got that sort of shape, you suddenly go, wow, I didn't see that in the bushes there earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I'll be really, really interested to see if it works with what we've got here at Forest, because I can say this for certain: we've got something on this forest, and it was
there's got to be something there.
and
There's
it was
no way
confirmed.
you can
So
have primate DNA. Right?
it's crazy.
I mean, I've said this to people, and they've given me the argument. Yeah, DNA can get mixed up, right? And they go,
Yes, but not unless you've had contact with the creature that's providing the DNA. So unless Daniel happens to have a pet chimpanzee in his back bedroom, where the bloody hell does primate DNA?
Oh, it annoys me something hell of annoying, yeah.
And Darren, I'll say this: when I told John, he sweared his mouth off when I told him. It was hilarious.
Well,
fuck off, Daniel. You never hear me.
I mean, come on, right? I mean, I was driving. I was driving up to the Guildford Ghost Walk, and Daniel's ringing me on Facebook. So I said to Jack or Ben, I said, answer it and tell him I'm driving. So, hello. So Daniel's like going to me. So I've stopped in Sainsbury's car park, and he's gone, we've got 2,000-year-old monkey DNA. I'm like, forget the age, yeah? Old world monkey and whatever, yeah? And, right, forget the age of it and things like that, yeah? Did you sort of dig a 20-foot down hole? No. We scraped it off the surface. Well, forget how old the monkey is, what type of monkey it is or isn't, or what his name is. What the fucking hell is monkey DNA doing in a woods in Somerset?
Yeah.
In a country where monkeys have never lived and there's no fossil record of monkeys.
Correct. Correct. Now,
the one thing I would urge everybody, all of you and me, to do is to write all this down. Keep record.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because so many groups go out and start investigating things. They don't make a note of what they've done. They then fade away, and there's no record at all of what they've done. Because what we're doing is we're adding to the sum total of human knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't stress how important this is.
And Darren, do you remember when I told you about the researcher who I sent the picture of the scat to?
Yeah.
That was John.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing about these lives. They bring people together and they get people to meet each other, and you can learn off each other.
Oh, crikey. I mean, I've learned stuff this evening I didn't know about.
Same here, mate. Same here. You know?
This is really
yeah, same here as well.
Yeah. I mean, if we're all honest with ourselves, I mean, you never stop learning until the day you die. then you learn how to do that. But everybody is learning constantly. I mean, a closed mind is a dangerous mind. We've all got this open mind. And I mean, I said to Angela a couple of weeks ago, after the live, and I said it last week, I said, wasn't that absolutely fantastic? She says, yeah. I said, well, without me starting South Coast Ghosts and running it the way I wanted it to run, which is it's run by the members, the people that are in it in the core, they decide what they want to do. I won't have any arguments or any secrets from the group. Yeah. Everybody, we have a team chat where if somebody's going to go to an abbey for the evening, they post it on there, and the others are welcome to go along. Yeah. However, if they don't go along, they can't say later date when you never told me you were going. We don't have cliques. And I mean, with the Paranation guys, Graham Bentley here, I mean, I said, I hope you're enjoying it, Graham. Yeah. He says, I always do. Yeah. Now that to me is immense. I said, I've brought all these people together, you know, I've made a platform where these people have come together and they're all friends. And you've no idea how warm inside of me that really is.
And
does that make sense?
I felt the same thing when I set up the chat for the guests and the management team for the event.
Yeah.
When everyone was talking, I felt the same way.
You've made that come together, mate.
Without me, then I wouldn't have met John. You wouldn't have.
There you go. You know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been saying about doing these live for the last 3-4 years, and a lot of people, they can talk the talk, but can they walk the walk? And I've said to other people that have been in the group before.
Yeah.
Frozen.
The secret government have managed to silence him.
And they all said, yeah. And you ring them up and you go, oh, do you want to do it? Oh, no, I'm busy this week. I'm making the come.
There's a black helicopter over his house.
Oh God.
Never see him so quiet.
I know, yeah.
Oh God.
I wonder if you can hear us.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I agree with him totally. We live in a world where everybody seems to be trying to pull us all apart and to make it that people aren't together. And that people, and this is bringing people together, and this is wonderful.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah.
And John, that's exactly what I'm trying to do with the event. And as I've got a minute of he's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Is he?
No,
he's gone again.
Stop.
Now on my mobile phone Wi-Fi.
So has
my
the
mobile
black
phone
helicopter
is working,
gone?
but the internet at home is the what?
The black helicopter which was hovering above your house, trying to stop you revealing the truth to us all.
Yeah, they're probably coming for me now. Ever since I mentioned the Wax Museum at Blading.
However, look at Luke.
Definitely.
Luke's wearing black. Does that mean he's a man in black?
No.
Actually, Angela, can you put that on the windowsill? Might get a better signal here. Oh, right, okay.
Oh,
we're
I'm
just trying to
enjoying
see.
myself.
I can't hear a bloody word you want about. Anyway,
Nothing. We're mostly talking crap. So
checking network requirements. Right, I'm back on now.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm there. We
You
got it.
froze like that.
Do you know what? It's stupid, isn't it? Right, all this modern technology and whatever, mobile phone signal and Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's like all in satellites. Yeah, they sort of like go out of alignment. Do you think they, in this modern day and age, they fly these satellites a bit lower so you could bloody see them, wouldn't you? I mean, then you could just like, oh, there it is. I'll aim it on that. I don't know. Who thinks of putting them so high?
Oh,
I
that's funny.
can't even remember what I was gabbling on about now, so you're lucky.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's it's 24. I've been talking. This is Graham. He gets some superb EVPs, and if you've looked on the puppy page this week, he's posted them with his videos of when he did the where was it he went, Graham? I can't. Oh, I know where it is, but I can't. It's somewhere. And he always gets great EVPs. And when I first met him, I went, my first Paranation event was Fort Widley, and I just went along as a fair paying customer. And Lugershaw Castle, that's it, mate. Lugershaw Castle. And obviously we're having the walk around and everything, and I'm just there on my own, and I'm just wandering around, and I've been there before. And we got down one end, and Julia's doing a talk and stuff like that, and I can see this man standing in the corner, and he's just staring at me, and I'm staring back at him, and I'm like, okay. And I see there's another one over there, and then they come over and they go, oh yeah, we have seen things here and here before. And I went, yeah, there's a man in that corner. What? I think, yeah, there's a man in that corner. And what's I said, oh, his name's Dominic. He's a policeman, yeah, and he's got shiny buttons here, and he's in uniform and stuff. And yeah, it's Dominic, yeah. And Graham's come forward and gone, oh, Mark came forward. He went, I've got a picture of him. Is this him? And it was Dominic standing in the corner. And then Graham got the EVPs of him there and everything. And it all sort of came together then. And I went, oh my God, I've just exposed my bloody self, haven't I? Yeah. Just keep quiet now for the rest of the evening, Darren. Enjoy the investigation. Just be a newbie. Don't say anything else. And then I think it was Mark and saying, oh, what else can you see? And I'm like, and I can't lie. I hate liars. I can't stand liars. And I said, well, that we went somewhere else and went, oh, we got the boy here, Billy, the little drummer boy, whatever. And I think I just did it in for myself, really. So, yeah, I couldn't keep my mouth shut, and I couldn't just like enjoy it, could I? I had to go on. Anyway, I'm going to end the live bit now. Thanks so much for joining us, Graham. It's a pleasure to have you on as always, mate. I don't know where everybody else is tonight. Have we got an extended version of EastEnders tonight or something? I don't know. You know, we do these lives if you're watching on record. I normally download it and upload it to YouTube for around about 10:30 on a Tuesday morning. Last week, I must add as well, thank you to everybody that wrote in as well. Thank you everybody that sent me messages on South Coast Ghosts, on my private Facebook as well. I have tried to answer them all. If I haven't got round to it all up to now, or you re-messaged me, I'm sorry, I will get round to it. They're all on about cryptozoology. I've never been into that, but it's really interesting. And you've got eDNA, and my God, and another girl, so she's from Ipswich.
Darren,
She's-
I will mention someone contacted me, and when the guy who runs it was amazing, say thank you to him.
What, me?
To you, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. I always try to be on the viewer's side, you know, because we want to give them what they want to hear while we're enjoying ourselves, don't we?
And last week I posted it all over the Bigfoot groups, all over. We had and this might amaze you, we had a Bigfoot producer and director on that night.
Really?
And we had scientists, we had Bigfoot researchers on that night, watching, all of us, and they stayed on until the end. So yeah, they really enjoyed it.
It was amazing. I mean, thanks for everybody, you know, and they really did, and they went, oh, he's so knowledgeable on his Bigfoot. How long have you been doing it? I went, well, he's only 14, and he's only just what? And he's got it all. Yeah. Amazing, yeah. One lady, she says, I've been watching your videos, and I'm now so far behind on the housework. So it's amazing. And then she replied to me, she went, I've sorted it, I've managed to get it done, and now I'm going to put your videos on in the background while I do the ironing that I've got to catch up with. I'm watching them again. So,
by the way, Daniel, I had a message earlier today from a colleague in Denmark who said, wow, that Daniel is a real cool dude.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. It's and again, I couldn't have done it by myself without you guys either. It's impossible to and it's like to now from 6 months, even 3 months, the furthest I've come is amazing. The fact that now I type my name up on Google and it comes up with pictures of me, and it's amazing. But my project now is to get everyone together and to get everyone, which is what the event is about, is getting everyone together to just start sharing some stuff, because it's never been done before.
In a few years' time, all these women that are going to be queuing up. You know, you just don't forget me. And it's all right, Luke. You'll find someone. Luke is very responsive to hypnosis, aren't you, Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a laughter gun, makes him chuckle. Watch, Luke. You watching? Bang.
Yeah.
Bang. Next time we all meet up, I'll show you Luke when he goes to sleep really quick. How's that? You just go to him sleep and he goes to sleep. Poor Luke. How is your mum anyway?
In the hospital tonight.
What?
In A&E at the moment.
Why?
Because of her arm.
What's she done to it?
No idea. It's like swollen, I think. Don't know what she's done to it, really.
So what, you're there on your own?
Yeah.
Oh, hell. Oh, sorry, mate. Hope she's all right.
Yeah, she'll be all right.
So,
when did she go in then?
And they're just not when the live stream started.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, what, did she walk up there, or did your brother?
No, my uncle, yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle took her, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I was talking to the ex-provincial grandmaster for Havard, Rogers, and he, really nice guy, he's a motorcyclist. And we were at the annual Scratch Toy Run last year. And he was expressing to me how disgusted he was with Queen Alexandra A&E, because, I mean, he's retired now, he's 68, 69. His wife's much the same. He said he had to take his wife to A&E. 3.5 days later, they discharged her because they got her to a walk. She was waiting in the hot corridor for 2 days in the corridor. And then they found a ward for her. They got up there and there wasn't a bed. There was a space, but there wasn't a bed. And eventually, there was a bed, but it had blood all over it. So he pushed the rifle. Mate. So anyway, I'm going to end the live now. Thanks ever so much for your support. Keep on supporting us if you can, please. Share us. I know I made some great friends on this journey, and the journey's still continuing. Take care, everybody. I always say to everybody, love, peace, harmony, and respect, and repeat it in that order, and you'll get the gist of it. There's no negativeness in that. There's only pure love. Spread the love, not the hate. Yeah, not enough love. Not enough love in the world.
No.
So a little bit more won't harm. Thanks so much. 8:30 next Monday we'll be here. Paul will be in the house then. He's now got water, so he's going to push. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you all later.
Okay, my dears.